What is up, YouTube folks? My name is Avery, and you already know what it is. So I'm not going to tell you how long it is, or how long it's going to be here for, or how long it's going to... Summer 2025 is finally here, and it is hot. It's finally heating up, which means that we've got some movies to talk about, and two of those I'm going to talk about today. Fetch me their soul! 28 years later is finally here. Some people have waited a long time for this movie. I'm not one of them. I'm a bandwagon. I haven't even seen the first movie, but this movie is pretty solid. I feel like the trailer for this movie had a bigger impact on culture than the actual release of this movie. This has got to be one of the most built up releases of the decade. I mean, when the first trailer dropped for this, everyone was talking about it. Cillian Murphy made a career for himself and won an Oscar in the time between 28 days later and 28 years later. And all that is to say that it was kind of surreal to watch this movie. It felt like playing GTA 6 for the first time. I mean, I hope it does. Now, there's three different kinds of ways I would describe this movie. It's very violent, very saturated, and very Irish or Scottish. I really couldn't tell. I'm pretty sure it's Scottish, but it could be Irish. Let me know in the comments. Now going into it, you know it's going to be a zombie movie, but you don't know what that means. Is it going to be a World War Z zombie where it's just Brad Pitt is just invincible and the zombies have zero brain cells? Or is it going to be like Train to Busan where the zombies are just throwing straight hands for the whole time? I would say it's more similar to Train to Busan than it is to World War Z, but there's definitely some schlocky elements in there. For a zombie movie, I think it has a surprising amount of emotional depth and also storytelling and world building. And it isn't just the actual physical elements of the movie. The acting, the score, the editing, the cinematography, it all kind of blends together to create this really stressful atmosphere. And I'm a sicko, so I loved it. This movie also looks really, really good. I was kind of blown away. I'm surprised that every movie doesn't look like this just because it's so big. The picture is so huge. And it's also very green. This got to be the greenest grass I've seen in a minute. They had to have made some new kind of technology to crank the saturation so high in this movie because god damn, it is high. This movie has a certain level of raunch that I really appreciated. I mean, they have sequences in here that just don't make sense, and they won't. Even if you watch the original, I doubt they make sense. I'll put some money on that, but they do like to splice in this audio. If you've seen the trailer, you know what audio I'm talking about. It's that cute winter boots shit, okay? After watching this movie twice, I'm kind of sick of it. They also use a really cool camera setup for some of the action scenes in this movie. You may have seen it. They have like a bunch of iPhones when they would have these zombie fights. They used a similar setup to what they used in The Matrix, if you've seen that. They pretty much just have like a bajillion iPhones recording an action scene, and they'll just kind of skip around to different points of view to follow the action. I was really excited to see that in motion, and I will say it does kind of work here and there, but I think it needs some improvement. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. When it works, it's pretty cool, but when it doesn't, it's a little bit distracting. But like I said, I'm here for that raunch. I miss that raunch. I love me some raunch, all right? And this movie's got plenty of that. I really hope more films use this kind of method, or at least this kind of creativity when it comes to shooting action in the future, but I doubt they will. I was surprised by the amount of like world building in this movie. I really didn't think it was going to have this much, but it's pretty expansive. There's a lot of characters being set up, a lot of locations. It all feels very planned out. And I think a part of that is the fact that they shot this movie and the sequel back to back. So hopefully the trilogy ends in a satisfying way, because my only real problem with this movie is the way it ended. They were building up a lot in this movie, and the ending kind of just didn't address any of what they had set up. I guess we'll get a follow-up in a couple of months when that third movie releases, but until then, the ending just kind of fell flat for me. Not to say that emotionally it didn't work for me. I was just hoping that the story would end on a more complete note. A lot of it is left in the air. The performances are all pretty solid. You got Aaron Taylor Johnson doing his thing. They do give it a bit of an emotional twist with him and his son in this movie. They kind of go in an unexpected direction with it, and it really works emotionally. But again, it's one of those things that we're not going to see until the third one comes out, so can't really speak on it too much, but I will say I was happy with where that sort of arc went. By the way, the main kid playing him, pretty solid. Could use some work on the chops, but he's like 5, so. The score is pretty solid too. It's kind of non-linear, if that makes sense. In the best way possible, I would say the score of this movie is less of a score and more of just like an assault on your ears. I mean that in the best way possible. A lot of movies take a classical approach, you know, your string instruments, trumpets, what have you, but this movie is very bassy, very synth heavy. I like that a lot. The main cast and the surrounding family they kind of have in this town all do a pretty solid job, and I did really care about the town. I am looking forward to watching them all get destroyed in the third movie. But yeah, there really isn't much else to say besides that. Pretty solid sequel. I hope the 28 Days Later fans are happy with this because they've been waiting a long time. As a bandwagon for this series, I enjoyed it. I mean, it was pretty brutal. It had a lot of what I'm looking for in a movie. Now, I have seen some people complain about the final like 3 to 4 minutes of this movie, and personally, I think they're all kind of whacked in the head. I thought it was a good little note to end on and a nice little segue into the next movie. That's all I really have to say. Solid movie. I'd give it like a 8 out of 10. Definitely closer to a 7 than a 9, but I enjoyed it regardless. It's better than most stuff coming out these days, and that includes F1.
You're a good man, Arthur Morgan.
New movie, new drink, let's get into it. For starters, I'm really not a big race car fan. I'm not a very big race car movie fan. When it really comes down to it, it's just kind of a basic formula, like red versus blue, A versus B, black versus white. Like, you've seen it a million times. This movie definitely has a challenge of trying to mix that up in some kind of way. Is it successful? I mean, it's pretty standard. It goes exactly where you think it's gonna go, and there's not much it does to switch it up, but it is really pretty. This movie's kind of carried by the cinematography, especially in the racing scenes. For the most part, it's shot practically. They really have these actors in these race cars, which is pretty cool, but that's all there is to it. It's just Brad Pitt racing. Like, do you think he's gonna win? Do you think the multi-million-dollar actor who's been an S-tier actor for like 30 years is gonna win, or do you think it's gonna be some random dude? Like, do you need me to explain why it's not compelling? I don't even remember the name of Brad Pitt's character in this movie. I mean, Brad Pitt has swag, but it's just the same swag he's been doing forever now. There's nothing new to it. He does it better in other movies. He just seems like he's going through the motions at this point in his career. Hey, if he's gonna keep making however much this movie made in the box office, and I can't blame him, respect the hustle. He's Brad Pitt. And the whole movie kind of just centers around him and his character. In a bad way, though. He just kind of exists in this world, and the world bends around him, and that's kind of all there is to it. There's not much of a struggle. Like, he just wins. I don't know. I enjoyed the sleek sort of aesthetic this movie has going on. I mean, it's Apple. They're new to the whole movie-making business, and they have this newer character in it who's kind of like the young, spry pup versus Brad Pitt's old, decrepit Brody, or whatever his name is. They try and play off of that dynamic. I'm struggling to even, like, talk about their characters because it's just so basic. I'm telling you, it's just red versus blue. That's all it is. There's just not much going on in terms of a story or emotional plot points in this movie. And for some people, that's going to be pretty bad. For others, they're not going to really care. They're going to have a good time. I still had an okay time. I think it's like just barely worth the $20 it costs to watch this movie. Okay, I guess Apple must have heard me talking about their movie because my camera just died, so the rest of this video is going to be with these flames. Enjoy. Javier Bardem is also in this. All I can really say is that he's better in this than he is in Little Mermaid, but that's not really saying much. The last thing that really irked me in this movie was the relationship between Brad Pitt and this female love interest he has. Shout out to Carrie Condon, okay? She gave the best performance in this movie by far. She took what was like less than a one-dimensional romance and turned it into something. You can call it something. It's kind of weird. To summarize their whole relationship, Carrie Condon pretty much just goes from hating on Brad Pitt to loving him with her whole heart and wanting him forever in the span of like 2 scenes. I swear, I'm not being like a nitpicker. I don't want to be like rude, but if you pinpoint the scene to scene like dynamic of their characters, I swear to God, it's just textbook Hollywood, like writing women poorly. But yeah, shout out to Carrie Condon because after they have she's very good at acting like she just had That's all I had to say. When I was watching the third act of this movie, I felt like Homelander in that one scene of The Boys where his eyes are just glazed over. Like, there's fireworks and everyone's celebrating because guess what? Spoilers, Brad Pitt wins the race. But I just didn't care. Like, everyone's celebrating, and yeah, people are going to post it on Twitter and be all happy with their gif of people celebrating, but I just didn't like it. I'm sorry. Your average viewer probably won't care. Like, I think I'm going way too hard, to be honest, but I just didn't really like this. This movie is just too boring for me. Again, this movie is very pretty. There's just nothing going on. I'm very sorry, but I have to give this a 6. I mean, I hope Apple keeps giving directors money like this, but next time, they should just give them more creative control. This just feels very, like, textbook schlock. I've seen it a million times. If you enjoy this movie, I don't hate you, but this GIF definitely describes you, okay? I'm happy for you. Have a great day, all right? And who knows, if I'm really wrong about this movie and everyone else is saying it's a great movie and I'm the only one that's hating on it, then I'm willing to be wrong and swallow my pride and go back and watch this movie and give it a more fair review. But for now, I didn't like it. And that's all I really have to say for this. Thank you for watching if you've made it this far. I'm still looking forward to the other movies coming out this summer. Superman, Fantastic Four, Weapons, Together. Those all look great. Like, subscribe, share, comment, do whatever you gotta do. And if you want me to review any movie of your choice for $5, I'll put my email on screen for you to hit me up, so let me know. And do not ask me how long I'll be running this channel for. Thank you, goodbye, and see you next time.